Well, we get completely quiet. Go ahead.
Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, thank you all for coming. Like, we are joined by people from different parts of the world, not only here at Clemson or in the US. There are people from a lot of places that I don't have with, but yeah. Today I'm gonna talk to you about some stories from the history of cryptography. So I understand that some of us want to go to the picnic. I would like to go there too. So if you're planning on going there, I would really advise you to click on that to scan that QR code over there, because that's where you can find my slides. This talk is also recorded, so you can see this on YouTube, maybe in a day or two. But let's get started. So, okay, so let me tell you quickly about cryptography. So, for a very long time, people use encryption, and that's like, let us hide secrets. But now it's not only about encryption. We solve different things with cryptography. So when we're talking about secure communication, yes, we use encryption schemes. When we're talking about key distributions, we have key encapsulation mechanism, and now we can communicate with everybody using public key encryption. And we even have way to make sure that we are talking to the right people, and that is using digital signature. And even when we receive some message from people, we can be sure that that is exactly that message that sender intended to send us by using cryptographic hash functions. But it didn't start all together. It had a very long story, and this is like a timeline that we have. This is starting very long time ago, and it had like very slow growth until we have like the biggest part that we have here. So we are gonna have stories from around this part, and then two stories from around this part, and then we are gonna jump here, and then we are gonna finish by talking about this part right here. So that's where we are gonna go on the timeline for today. So since I was a very little girl, I really enjoyed reading like my math book, where they have like, as an introduction, they have like some stories. But crazy thing is, those are only one paragraph. So by the first semester, by the first month, I already finished all of the story, and I was like, oh, I wish I could have more story. And then I went to like, read some storybook, and the math is not there. So when I found this book, I was like, I really, really need to talk to people about this book, because that's like have a very good dose of math and also very interesting story. So I really encourage you read that book, and most of the things that I will be talking to you about was directly taken from this book. The book is the Code Book by Simon Sai. So, okay, so we all heard about statistical inference, which is like the first reference of it as a term is back to Pascal and Fermat in the 17th centuries. But when we look at like kind of text on history of statistics, we are not talking about like Arab contribution. But informally, statistic inference was already developed like a long time ago in the 9th century by Al-Kindi, when they were developing the frequency analysis. So let's see, what is that? So how does that start? Have you heard about the Arab civilization? So yeah, that is when like the creation of Islam religion, and they want to spread the word. So by doing so, they were like, okay, let's also let's create a new civilization. So they recognize the knowledge as a collective human asset. So because of that, they actively studied the wisdom of other people, so they have different books from about philosophy, astronomy, mathematics, physics, chemistry, and medicine from different types of languages that was then translated into Arabic. So that's like a huge encyclopedia of knowledge. So also, since they want to extend their civilization, they need to expand their language. So they made like very big advances in linguistics, like how is the language, how many letters are used, how are all of those words used. And they also want they were having like a very big territory. So for that, they need to have secure communication. So they started studying about encryption, and thanks to the translation of Greek and Indian mathematical work, they had access to all of the knowledge of people from all over the world. So that was like a very huge advantage of them. So those are like the known works on cryptography, which start with Al-Khalil, and this is like the first book on cryptography, which is, they say it's considered lost. And then we also have Al-Kindi, which this is the most important one, and he was the one who invented frequency analysis, but he is not only good at math, he was also good at philosophy, astronomy, medicine, linguistics, math, statistics, and music. And his book is a manuscript of deciphering cryptographic messages, which I think you can find that online. This first book you can. This one you can see English translation of this. And then we also have building on that work, we have Ibn Adnan, which then it's like, okay, we have frequency analysis, but when does it work and when it doesn't work? So he studied like how was the size of its sample so that you can actually do frequency analysis. And then the next one is this Ibn Dunaim. I don't know how to read the name correctly, but yeah, what he did was he gave the first arithmetical cipher, which is like kind of like the origin of what we have right now. And again, he builds on the work of those people previously. So that's the so everything here is building upon previously work. So it's always very important to be aware of what is around the world, how is the field developing in all over the places. And yeah, I'm gonna show you how to do frequency analysis with English ciphertext, and I'm gonna put this on, where is the, yes. Okay, so let's go here. So the basis of frequency analysis is for us to know that when you are seeing an English text, we expect E to be the most common word, and then it's going to be followed by A, followed by R, followed by I. So here we have the frequency analysis simulation. So this is like this is all of the words that this is like the frequency of the word, and when we see, let's say, text that is a cipher using substitution cipher like this, and we want to do decipher it. So we don't know how did they do that, but we only know that it's a substitution cipher. So the first things that we are going to do is we are going to do the frequency analysis. Now we have a computer, but back then it's technically going and counting all of those letters one by one and trying. So now I'm going to do some substitution. So, okay. So I can see here that the letter that most appears in the ciphertext that I have is L, and I know that it's an English text, so I can expect that that should correspond to E. So let's go and replace it with E. Okay, so and at least E didn't work actually. Yes, so now we know that, okay, that looks good, but Also, we also know that we are talking about English language, and in English language, if you see one single letter, it's definitely an A, because you don't see an E going around alone in the English language. That doesn't make sense. So within like my linguistic knowledge, I can say that this part right here, it's definitely an A. So let's just do here, let's go here and replace it with A. Yay, so now we have a more clear separate plain text. So now you're gonna go again and see, oh, there is a G which is appear a lot. So let's see, we already have A, we already have he. What's happened? Is it like an N, an O, or a T? Let's try a T. So does it make sense? No. It looks like it makes sense, right? So this maybe, I also know English, so I know that I have like, if I have a T somewhere here and there is like only one thing, it's definitely a 2, right? So let's look at the ciphertext and see this part right here. So that is like, oh, that comes from the W. So let's replace the W with O. So W becoming O. And let's start the substitution. So now we can see that it starts making sense. And I have a P, which is correct. We hope it's correct, and we have an E. I know English, so it should be what? It should be an H. What was that? That was like okay, that was the B here. So let's take the B and replace it with H. So yeah. And then, oh, I also see a T here, and it's like, it should be a royal before that, right? But A is already taken. So what should be there? If it was an English text, it should be an I. So let's go here on the, and we see, okay, that was a D. So let's replace it with an A. And let's start in the substitution. Oh. And now I see here that I have an I, and there is something here. What should it be?
You need a verb.
It should be what?
Yes.
Okay, so let's go here, and we can see here that that was the K. So let's see. K should be an S. And it's not making sense, right? And now I can see if we can recognize some of the word here. And do you recognize any of the words there that you know that there is? Yeah.
I think that we have a spice, S,
What
after
is
it,
that?
I, A, E, O. Yes.
Can you come here and show me?
I think that's here we have a spice, I don't know.
Yeah, that's really okay. Where was that?
That could be sky.
Could be sky.
Oh, well, we have a station.
Yeah, it's ever a spice or a skies.
There's
Let's try. Okay,
Probably
so.
not teal. This is funny.
There's the word have right under it, the very first one.
Okay, yeah, I think that's okay. Yeah, I think let's do that because it's very easy to count that. Okay, so that should be have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Where is that? Look at this, and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 16. So that was a K should become a V.
No.
Oh, no, it's what?
It's the next one.
It's the next one, this one. So that's the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, G should become a V, so.
So no hate speech, right?
Yes. So yeah, so you can continue this, and we can see here that it's become more clearer. There's not, I have this exact link on my slides, so you can continue this on your own.
Star Wars.
Yes, yes. You understood it, yes.
I saw eat stuff. That's right.
Yeah, so, okay, so when those Arab people started using frequency analysis, cryptographers fought back. So how can we do to fight against that? The first idea is homophonic substitution. So instead of using like substituting each each letter by a symbol, we want to substitute sounds because we can have like different types of sounds for one single word. Or we can also use polyalphabetic cipher, and I'm gonna show you this later, but not now, but that's just a teaser, okay? And we can also have polygraphic, which is when you have like word, we are gonna, let's say common word, common name, we can replace those by symbols. And the next breakthrough, it took very, very long time, let's say 6 centuries later, Billionaire published his paper, which is called A Treatise on Secretive Writing, which contains the Visionary cipher. It was like very secure against the cryptanalysis of technique of that time, but people said like, oh no, it's too difficult. We are not gonna do this. We are gonna stick to the ones that we know that is easy for us because we want things fast instead of secure. And the next story that I'm gonna show you will tell of what's happened if you ignore the advance of the scientific advancement in your time. And that leads us to the tragic story of Mary Queen of Scots. And the story is very tragic that it is called that this picture of her, it's not her actual picture, she is more beautiful than that. So I think it's really tragic when people try to even tune down your beauty in historical figures. So okay, so who is Mary, by the way? So he was born in 1542, which is she was the daughter of the Queen of Scotland back then, but 6 days after her birth, her dad died. And she had and there was no other year, so she was crowned the Queen of Scotland at age 6 days. And in 2 years later, 1658, she marries Francis, the Dauphin of France, but a year later, 2 years later, both her husband and her mom died. So just imagine yourself a very young queen, no dad, no mom, no husband. You were not raised in your own country, and now you're gonna go back there to take that kingdom that is now didn't know you. So just imagine what happened. So in 1563, she was sending letters to Queen Elizabeth I of England because Queen Elizabeth I was her cousin. And Queen Elizabeth I, which is also known as the Virgin Queen of England, she was very old but didn't have any husband because she was afraid that a man would take her kingdom from her. So Mary's like, hey Elizabeth, I am your nearest relative. Would you please make me the future king of England once you pass away? And Elizabeth said, no way. You are not gonna take my kingdom from me. So from then, Elizabeth was thinking of her as a threat to her kingdom. 1965, Mary marries a guy called Lord Darnley, and things didn't go well. As soon as they get married, the guy tells Mary, "Hey Mary, when you die, I want to be the king." And she was like, "What? We just get married? What's happened? We are too young. How do we even think that you are gonna become a king? Are you planning on murdering me?" So yeah, so she said no, and the husband become an alcoholic. So then in 1566, Mary was 6 months pregnant, and she was talking to her friends, and her husband brought friends to like the place and killed her friend is also the secretary, and Mary saw that happen while being 6 months pregnant. So after that, she was like, okay, this husband of mine is not a husband anymore. But later, the husband become very, very sick, and yeah, some strange things happened. He died in a fire, and people say like, you know what, maybe it was Mary, because their relationship was strained. So we have like enough reason to say that. So then after like a few years after that, something tragic happened again to her. Like one of her friends raped her, and so she had to marry because that was like the culture back then. So she marries James Hepburn, but then people say like, wait, what? Like, isn't that a confirmation that you actually killed your husband? So that's when like her own brother started rebellion, and she was forced to abdicate, and her son now become like her baby son become the king, which is King James VI of Scotland. So she was fleeing to England because guess what? She still had her cousin, which is the queen. So when she was there, and she told to Elizabeth again, like, hey, my brother is not happy with me. Can I seek asylum in your country? And Elizabeth said, like, no, you are a criminal, you are imprisoned. So from then until the rest of her life, she was a prisoner. So in 1578, James Hepburn dies, and also some of the people who are still like some of the people who are still following her was thinking like, hey Mary, we want to dethrone Elizabeth I, because back then it was also still like a debate between should Elizabeth I be the Queen of England, because like the marriage of her dad and mom was not accepted by the Pope. So people are still thinking of it as illegal. So some people are still thinking that Mary is like a legitimate, more legitimate than Elizabeth is. So, okay, you are in a prison. Imagine yourself a prison. You didn't talk to your son. You have no dad, no mom. Your only cousin that you are thinking about to help you imprisoned you. And somebody just tell you, hey, I'm gonna help you. Let's kill this cousin of yours, and we are gonna make you the queen. What will a person with the right mind do? So yeah, she said, yes, do it. And they were smart enough to use encryption, but remember, they are still like, okay, we are gonna use encryption, but it's not like the hard one, right? So since it was not the hard one, there are smart people who are aware that it's not the hard one. So it was discovered, and in 1587, she was executed by beheading. So I'm gonna tell you how this happened. So there was like a minister of Elizabeth I, which is called Fonsingham. I don't know how to read it correctly, but yeah, he read some books by some cryptanalysts, and he was like, okay, I think I really need a cryptanalyst in my team. So he recruited Thomas Phillips, which is a polyglot cryptanalyst. By the way, Mary's and her friends, they speak French. So, you know, when you are in English-speaking country and you are communicating with us, you don't expect people to speak other languages, right? So, yeah, but the cryptanalyst was polyglot. She speaks like 6 languages. And the minister also hired a guy named Gifford, which he was trained to be a Catholic priest. and they were he heard forced to infiltrate Mary's school as a trusted courier, because if somebody who is a priest comes to you and tell you, I'm gonna help you, was like the normalest things to do. Yes, right? So although they were relying on encryption, which is not good, so Mary and her supporters detailed blog were intercepted and copied by the minister. So like courier guy gives the letter to the minister, he copies it and gives it to the cryptanalyst, and like the actual letter then gets sent to the actual people. So it's just like every communication gets copied and encrypted. And although Mary denied involvement till the end, the decryptor letters led the judge to call for her execution. So if you want to know more about the story, you definitely have to read the book. So yeah, this is like the cipher used by Mary. This is an homophonic cipher. So a symbol represents a sound with a nomenclature, which means a symbol represents a frequent word or phrase, let's say country name, which is mostly like France and England. And they use graphical symbols as ciphertext because there are not that many of character letters that we can use. So that's like an example of how it looks like. And this book, and this is taken from this website right there. So this is also like the symbol. So let's say when you see this X right here, that just means the Pope. So, and then 1790, we have an actual polyalphabetic ciphers, which is easiest than the beginner cipher, but also as strong. So that's what this is about, and I'm gonna give you this. So this was invented by Thomas Jefferson, which is, if you don't know that, he's the third president of the US. But the fact that he invented this thing was classified, and it was very, very late that it was covered. But it also invented independently by Joseph Mowburn of the US Army, and it was what is called as M94, and it was used in 1943. So here's how it works. When you want to send somebody a message, you put it in the correct way, yeah, that you can see like all of the word, and you start matching all of the letter of your actual message until you see the sentence, and then you just write one of the other lines as a separate text. So if the person that you are talking to have the exact same configuration, they can just rearrange the separate text again, and they can read, they look at the wheel to see if they recognize some of the words. So this has only 25 letters. Oh, the original one has 25 letters, so you can be secure if you have like only 25. After that, it's not as good anymore. So I have this message right here. So if you would try to rearrange it and see what was the message that I had that maybe I just have two people doing it because of time, but then
See that from there, is it helpful?
yeah, no,
No?
I don't, oh, let me see. Oh, I see. No. No. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, did you find it?
Oh, no, I skipped one letter, I think.
Oh, okay. What was the message?
I don't know.
Did you find something that you recognize?
I don't think so.
Oh, really?
Sorry.
Okay, did you? Okay, would you wanna try? Okay, just write this, like try to have this written in like the actual. Yes, like this, and you try to write this, and then you're gonna see if you recognize some of the word. Okay, let me try to rearrange it then. Yeah, because I know what the word is. So here we have like a C, so I'm just gonna CLP. Yeah, COPHWX.
COX.
Oh, COXPHWXEPDO. So I'm gonna look at this. I didn't change it. And what's happened? That's really weird. Okay, I may have made a typo, but we can we can use this in the picnic later. But yeah, I'm so sorry for that. Also, this is like secure if you know the configuration, so it is considered like asymmetric key cryptography. So let's and if you want to know more about this, you just need to go to this website right there. Yes.
What was the message?
You have to find it by yourself
Oh.
later, okay?
Okay.
I'm gonna turn it on Monday, so if you are interested in it, you have to take it and
Okay.
take it by yourself. Yeah, so this ciphertext was brought by the Germans because of the repeating wheel, because I said before, the original one has only like 25 characters, so when you have more than 25 characters, you need to redo it again, and also the standard, when you send military messages back then, you have the same header every single time, so that was really, really bad. So now let's move on to the timeline and see how does the Enigma machine works. So I'm so glad that I found this website right there, and you can play with it by yourself. So let's open the Enigma machine. Yeah, it's really cool, right? And yeah, the Enigma machine is a device like this, so we can if I open it. Oh, and I
Oh my God, today I'm looking over.
yeah. So the Enigma machine is a device like this. It has some plugs where you can plug some wires. So let's say I can take this here and yeah, I can wire. So like each wire is different to some different setting. You can also see that there are some switches, some okay. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah. Yeah, but this is, yeah.
Is that the one that used by the German during?
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what it is. So it has different switches that you can do. It also have some wheels that also change. So every time that you change the switch, that change like a different setting, and that's like another code. So what happened is so remember in 1990 we have the Treaty of Versailles. So what that means is for Germany, they were required to disarm. So that means they need to cut back on their army military force. And there are two brothers called the Schmidt brother. So one of the youngest one was called Hans Tylo Schmidt. So he was, after the cutoff, he was disaffected from the military. He was turned into a businessman, and made a soap factory. But when your country lost the war, people don't have money, so business closed. On the other hand, there is his brother Rudolf Schmidt, and he rose through the rank, and he was promoted to be the chief staff of the Signal Corps. So what you do when you get that high and your brother doesn't have a job, you give him job, right? So Rudolf arranged a job for Hans Tylo in Berlin at the cipher office. So between that time or so, 1923, that was when Winston Churchill published, like, you know what? German naval messages were broken by the Russians. So they were like, Germany was like, okay, I think we need to get like some secure encryption. So back then was this guy named Schrebius was created by Enigma, and that was we call like doing the right thing and talking to meeting the right people at the right time. So he was when he was creating the Enigma machine, it was initially targeted as businesses, but it was very expensive. And there are also like some other similar inventions from in over the world. Let's say the one that was in the US was like the disastrous about. You can also read about that later. But Rudolf Smith was saying something that the Germany army are gonna use the Enigma cipher. So after that, German had the most secure encryption method in the world. It was good. Like, unless you know all of the different settings, like you cannot just like brute force it. Hans Tylo was Hans Tylo has that job at the office, the cipher office, but remember, he was disaffected from the military, so it's like, guess what? Germany doesn't like me. If not, they should have kept me in the military. So he contacted the French embassy, and he went there and like say, hey, I have the secret about our strong encryption. I am gonna sell it to you. So like that was how the wiring and operation of the Enigma machine get sent to the Allies. So how did the German Navy operate the Enigma? Every month they distribute the key for each day, and each day they set the Enigma according to the die key. And for each message, they are going to select the message key and send 2 copies of it using the die key. But so if you have like GKL, and then you just write like GKL, just like, okay, just so we agree on that same key. And then we are going to change the setting to the message key and type the message. So it's like a lot of steps. And it's literally, if the secret was not broken, it's like unbreakable, like computationally infeasible. So now, since that Hans Tylo Smith sent it to sell the white paper, France know how to wear the Enigma, but they also know that it's very difficult, so they were demotivated. But Poland, which was a small country that is like very close to Germany, they have fear of invasion. So like, hey France, can you give us that secret that you just got? So Poland received the document from France, so they recruited 20 mathematicians fluent in German to do cryptanalysis. And they were able to build replicas of the Enigma. And one of those guys was called Rejewski. So what did Rejewski do? So he worked alone to analyze the ciphertext, because as we already saw before, repetition is the enemy of security. When you see like a lot of things repeated, you know the pattern. So they already know that many ciphertexts are like message key is going to be a ciphertext at the beginning of every message. So they have like this many ciphertexts using the same setting. They also have like the information about the initial setup. So when he received all of those ciphertexts, he was analyzing them and so like, okay, when they give those ciphertexts, that tells us something about the how the scrambler were set. So what he did was there are like this many scrambler settings, and he just write a catalog of chain numbers. So I discovered like this is how it works. See that all of the people who work with him just do all of those. So they are doing cataloging. So they basically brute force the plugboard then after that until a known message appeared, because remember there was the scrambler setting, there was the wiring. So if you already know the scramblers, it's like the work is very it's small and become like feasible if you have like many people. So then we just feel like, okay, those people are just like doing the most boring job in the world. How about an FNS version? So that's when he devised what we call the bomb machine. So the bomb was an adaptation of Enigma, which was able to rapidly check each of the settings until it spotted a match. So he built 6 bomb machines for each possible arrangement of the scramblers. So when they manage to finish that, each technique is then broken in 2 hours. And in December 1938, German cryptographers included Enigma security. So they know that like their security is mostly because of the size of the key. So they just like increase the number of scramblers and the plugboard cables. What's happened is, although Rejewski and his friends know how to crack this code, they didn't have enough money, enough resources to buy more of the bomb. So it was like computational infeasibility. So that's what stopped them for breaking German cipher. So you may be asking like, but we've heard that the Enigma was cracked by Alan Turing. Where is he? So here you enter the story. So Alan Turing was born in Britain. He was raised by nannies and friends of his parents, and then he attended a boarding school. So 1926, that's when he studied at Sherborne School, and he has only one friend, which is called Christopher Morcombe. But in 1930, his only friend died. So he wants to honor him, and that's why he applied and get into Cambridge and make discoveries, which he say is gonna be like discovery that should have been found by his friend if he didn't die. So yeah. 1931, he was admitted to King's College, and that was when he has the debate about investigatability, which is, if you were here of Jared's talk, he talked about that. So his most paper called On Computable Numbers can be seen as the blueprint for our modern programmable computer. So another line of the story, 1939, Germany withdrew its non-aggression treaty with Poland, so they invaded Poland, and that's what the beginning of World War II. That day, the smart Rejewski guy, he escaped to France and fled to Britain, and he worked into a minor intelligence unit and aware of how his bomb machine ended up. But the Poland gives the Britain and France again those spares of Enigma replica and the blueprint of the bombs, and France like, yes, yes. Those who say like, oh no, we cannot do this, not like, okay. So Britain then formed the government code and separate school at Bletchley, which recruited mathematicians, scientists, linguists, classicists, chess grandmaster, crosswords addict, and They have definitely more staff and more resources from the Polish cyber office, and they also learn about what the Jagelski do, what the Polands do. So they invited Alan Turing to join Bletchley. So since they already know how the Enigma machine work, they have like a lot of deciphered messages. So Turing did this following observation. Okay, so every day around 6 a.m., Germans will send a regular weather report. And when you send a weather report, you always like, this is the weather for today. So he knows no matter how is it gonna be, the word weather, which is the German word for weather, is always gonna be in that plain text. So, and most of the messages have the phrase Heil Hitler. So when you have a message, just guess which one of those may be the weather or the Heil Hitler, and that's when you start like brute forcing to find the key. So remember, like when we're talking about mathematical indecipherability, that was like Alan Turing's brilliant idea. That's become now a practical machine breaking the Enigma. So it's like similar to the Jagelski's machine, but it made it electric, so it becomes faster. So Bletchley was able to find a lot of money to turn Turing's idea into a working device, and they were also called the bombs. So in 1940, the first product of the bomb was called Victory, but it was slower than expected. But yeah, they have more money, so they built an upgraded version, which is Anius DE and 39 bombs, new bomb. They have like 39 bombs in total in 1942. And if you are interested in that, I also have a link for the simulator here. And the slide is in my website. So you can just go there and find the slide, click all the links. But how did the Germans react to all of that? So they did not know that their code was broken. They just thought that the code was just being stolen. So they augmented the security of their Enigma machine, but British both used espionage to steal keys, but they also have the right people to do the actual math. So those things work together. It's very, very powerful. But what's the impact of Bletchley? So they also deciphered Italian and Japanese messages. It significantly shortened the war, but they did not know, those mathematicians, those scientists, linguists, all of those, they did not know how the information that they provided were used. It was closed in 1946, the cryptanalysis was disbanded, bombed or dismantled, every scrap of paper about the ciphering locked away and burned. So yeah, the war ended, but how about the code breakers? So it was really bad for them because they were not allowed to say that they were working on those things. So they returned to their family, their friends, and they were like, you didn't work for that many years, where have you been? So it was really bad for them. So Turing, in 1952, he was reported, someone broke his house, and she went to the police and said, hey, somebody broke my house. And when they were like asking him like, what's happened, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, okay, who are you with that day? And she was like, yeah, I was with my partner. And then that's when she was, they learned that she was homosexual. So they arrested him, and the story of the burglary is just gone. So, so after that, she was arrested. She was forced into hormone therapy, but it didn't go well. So in 1954, he died of suicide. He never gets, let's say, rewarded for his work during his lifetime. So, okay. This is the last part of my story. So we are gonna see how the start of public key cryptography. If you are interested in going deeper in that, this paper by Whitefield, DP, is like the best paper that talk about that. It's very well written. So, and it's also like a story. So it's really good. But public cryptography was born in May 1975. It is solving key distribution problem, and so that you can use a symmetric scheme because it's fast And it also provides us the power to do digital signature. And the key idea is that we're going to use one-way functions to solve both problems. So this guy, John Gill, is say like, okay, we can use this correct algorithm, and that was the one that became in the RFA crypto systems later. DP proposed the knapsack problem, but that was broken very easy. And Donald Knott said like, okay, you know what, multiplying a pair of prime is easy. Oh, I think I have things mixed. This should be RSA, this should be the Fielman. Yeah, I just have those mixed. So I'm gonna change it later, but yeah. There's also a simulator to the Fielman. So this is like, it's really cool. But I'm not gonna go through this because we are running out of time. But you can see the link on my website. So it's very nice. You can see all of the steps here. You can generate parameter and then do all of the steps here. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. And you can also see a simulator of the RSA. But now let's talk about Maculus, because we already know that DS, RSA, those are like really widely used right now. But on those time also, so those are like 1976, but in 1978, there is a guy called Maculus, and he was like, you know what? I can also use linear codes to solve this problem. We can also have a one-way function, but like, if you read that like the paper by Diffie, he was like, you know what? That idea of Maculus is good, but it's impractical. Nobody is ever use it. It is so big because their public key is an actual big matrix, and matrix needs a lot of space. So this is like, how do you do encryption with Maculus, decryption with Maculus? The very big challenge is like how to store it. So there is a good news for Maculus, but maybe not really good news for us. 1994, that was when Shor said like, you know, if those quantum computers become widely available, one day we can use those to factor on numbers. So that's gonna be the break of RSA. And then we also have like the that was Shor algorithm, and then you have Grover algorithm, which also like, okay, quantum computers can also break the Fielman key exchange. So from then, we were like, okay, but that's the far future. But we know now that quantum computers, those are things, like those are not like far distant future. We have like actual quantum computers right now. They are not yet as good as we want them to be, but people are doing a lot of research on them. So in 2016, NIST called for submission for public key secure cryptography scheme to replace RSAs and these, all of the things that we are using right now. And guess what? Who is like one of the candidates? Maculus. So if somebody thought that your work is not practical, is not good, just wait. Because someday it might be like the thing. So the best performing advanced for Maculus that we know right now is based on information set decoding, and the algorithm that we know now that can solve that has exponential complexity, even with quantum computers. So these are all of my references. If you guys want to read about those, and yeah, if you have any question, please send me an email because I'm gonna go to the picnic. This is like my Facebook page. And yeah, I'm gonna go back to that the first slide again so that you can take a picture if you want if you are convinced you want to have that slide. This is where you can take the slide. And thank you everyone for coming to my talk. Thanks to all of you who are not from Clemson who attend my talk today. I'm so honored. Thank you so much.
Questions? Any questions? Well, I guess we got a lot of people out there, so let's see if somebody. And that goes for you all out there in Etherland too. Any questions? So I was curious, like the historic thing, you said that that old book was like lost.
Like the first book.
Yeah, it was like really early on when you were talking about like, you know, the Arabs and, yeah.
Yeah, this
And there we
yeah.
go. So how do they know it existed, right? Is it referred to in some of
Yes,
the other?
it's referred to with the other text, but nobody has seen it, so.
And I'm guessing, unless this is out of a religious text or something, that guy really didn't live 141 years, did he?
Yeah, no,
Oh, I think I made. Typos.
yeah.
Like, yeah, usually I have better readers
That's small
to read my
touch stuff right
slides,
there.
but it's like the end of the semester and people are busy.
That's what we were
so-
getting up in time
Yeah.
during the Abington plot, where it was like went from
It went from like
1653 to 1965 or something like.
Okay, promise I'm gonna change it, so if you are gonna go to see the slides tomorrow, you are gonna see like correct dates, like promise. Okay?
Okay, so now let's stop picking on the speaker. That was a great talk. Any other questions? All right, thank you so much. Well, everybody, don't forget, the math in tomorrow. It's been great. Thanks for a great year of the math club. How many of you are gonna be back in the fall? All right, so, everybody have a great summer break. I hope, exam week goes well for you and, maybe we'll see you over the summer, but at least by the fall. Oh, we've got a question here. In chat. If you want to, it was kind of everyone.
Okay, hi Jeff, yeah, so if we want to send a secret like today, we're still gonna use RSA or AES. Like, it also depends also on who are you gonna send the message to, right? Like if I'm gonna send a message, I don't have much, so people will not be really that interested in like breaking my thing, but it's like,
That's always nice.
if it's like, the government or something like that, you definitely might want to use, other methods, let's say, if it's like the government, they may be able to afford something like one-time pad or, something like that.
Jim is still there.
Yeah, Jen is still there. A lot of people, yeah, you can just go here, they can see if you are there.
I'm here. Hi, Jeff. If you can hear me. Yeah, it's me and Kelly.
Yeah, hi, Joe.
There is Bulan and there is Maeve
He's
here.
there.
He's there?
Hi, friends.
Oh.
There is middle.
Bulan and Maeve and Mikaya, I don't know Mikaya, I don't know person. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for coming.
Okay, Mikaya is one of my classmates at university in physics.
Oh, okay.
So he's doing physics right now. Yes, he's still doing physics. Bye, man.
Bye.
No, I don't know him.
But he's like this, like that.
Every time I start roomies and.
Yeah, it ends, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
I remember seeing some of you guys though.
Okay. But who wants an entire cheese pizza? Anybody?
No, we're gonna get food.
Actually, if you don't take it, I'm taking it to the picnic.
Right now.
those are things, so.
Oh.
It started last year.
Wait, so what was it?
Okay, I know Mel, I know Fulan, I'm sorry, I don't know the other people, but yeah, it's nice to meet you. It's nice to
Yeah, I
meet you.
think
So,
all of them are pains.
I currently do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you wanna talk to me, just drop me an email, guys.
Yeah, same for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, let me just.
Yeah, you know what you do, are you going over to the Schletter?
Nice, that's very interesting.
Yeah, cause I see it all over.
That's my website.
Yeah, congratulations. Fine, that's good.
If you like, people read, use what
They do very practical things and theoretical things.
way that.
You can definitely read the books. Like, I know it about mix, it's
Yeah,
but you
definitely
say-
not a lot of words.
And it can be identified here, the function. Yeah.
Are they, is everybody off here?
Yeah, I try to make it
Yes,
as
yes.
simple as possible. I know there's still stuff.
Thank you so much for that. That was a great talk.
Yeah.
Actually, I've been looking forward to it all week. I'll